One hand, two hand, grip, grope.
From Hot Springs, Arkansas, this is Midwest Sports Saturday. Good morning, I'm Joey McWilliams. I am joined today by Eric Moyer, the Associate Commissioner of Communications for the Great American Conference. And this is episode number 25. This is our 25th Midwest Sports Saturday. I appreciate everyone for being along for the ride. Please do subscribe to this YouTube channel, Midwest Sports Net. We have a lot to talk about today, a lot to go over. I want to stick with Eric's strong points, so it's going to be a very short show. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
There was an insult in there somewhere.
There probably was.
I'll find it when I subscribe and watch it later today.
That's right. Please do subscribe to this YouTube channel, Midwest Sports Net. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about where we are right now. We are in the Bank OZK Arena in Hot Springs, Arkansas. It is the site of the Great American Conference Volleyball Tournament for, I believe, the 7th year now. I think that I've been here for 7 years. Yeah. I think that's right.
You are correct.
And this has been fun. It's been a very good tournament. From top to bottom, all 8 teams that made it into the tournament, you really thought there was a good chance that each one could advance. There were upsets on the first day. 2 lower-seeded teams won, 2 higher-seeded teams won. All 4 quarterfinal matches were won in 4 sets. Mm-hmm. And let me just break that down for you really quickly. It was number 6 seed Harding, the defending tournament champions, winning in 4 over 3rd seeded Southwestern Oklahoma. Then 2nd seeded Northwestern Oklahoma taking out number 7 seed Ouachita. Following that, the top seed Oklahoma Baptist took care of business against number 8 seed Arkansas Tech. And then the 5th seed Southern Nazarene over 4th seeded Henderson State, again, all in 4 sets. It was a long day, though. You would think with 4-set matches that, you're going to get things done, maybe stick to what the times were, but they were so tightly contested.
Yeah, starting with that Harding and Southwestern match, all four sets decided by exactly 2 points. First or second time ever or this year in a GAC match to feature a 4-set match, have them all be decided by 2. And one of them went 31-29.
Exactly.
Our second longest set ever at the tournament, and I think 3 of the sets went long. There was never a 25-8. Like, everything was 25-22, all timeouts exhausted, all subs exhausted. All
broadcasters exhausted.
Your words, not mine. So, yeah, everything just made for a long day, but when they're that competitive, you don't mind sticking around to see them play out. You go to other quarterfinal or tournaments where the 7th and 8th seeds maybe aren't, as worthy of being there, but the field mandates that size. You get those quick non-competitive matches, but as we've seen, we've had 8 seeds make it to the finals. This year we got our first 6 seed in the finals. That anyone that makes this field can and will make a run to the final.
And this is a league that continues to grow and improve on so many levels, and the parity within the league is not just a parity that is, the teams are all about the same and that's all about moderate. That's really not the case. These are quality teams, and the quality of the volleyball in the Great American Conference here in year 9 of this conference just continues to grow. Yeah,
we just get stuck in an unfortunate region with the MIAA and the Northern Sun where I believe the number 15 team in the country did not make their conference tournament. By virtue of a tiebreaker, I think, in the Northern Sun. Someone got left out. That just from a conference level. So it's just the way that is in Division II that our region puts us up with those two. And, the Central region is harder than the Elite 8 because of the strength of the field that we've got. And, we were fortunate enough last year to see the Harding senior-laden team knock off Nebraska Kearney and get us a real signature win there that I think does still resonate with the folks around this region. It's just, hard to ever, envision a path where we get multiple teams in there. So it's just the plight we've got until regionalization shifts around, that we can have more of these worthy teams being in the national field, because we have multiple teams that would be in the top 64 in the country. That I have no doubt. Just we can't get them into the national field at this time.
And that is the case, and we've talked about that here a number of times on Midwest Sports Saturday, also on Midwest Sports Now over the course of the week, in talking about the Central region. At one point, I know in the AVCA poll earlier this year, with 25 teams in the poll, 13 of the teams were from the Central region. Which, if you break that down and look at what that means, with 8 regions in the country, that means the other 12 teams in the top 25 were spread out over 7 other regions. That's amazing.
And you think if you look at it even closer, it's probably a bulk of them come from the South, and from the West. Like there are multiple regions where they don't have a ranked team.
Right. Top team in the country is from California, right?
Yeah, and I think that the Tampas in West Georgia, West Florida, that South region there, they traditionally produce teams that are in the Elite Eight as well. So it's just how this sport is. If you come to baseball and softball, the southern states, and we're fortunate we are generally well represented in those, that the polls fluctuate or reflect that more. This part of the country than just volleyball. So, like I said, we've got multiple teams that would be top 64 worthy. We don't have a great shot.
It's just tough to break in. It really is. And we'll talk a little bit about the MIAA tournament here in just a moment. But the Great American Conference, as we talked about the quarterfinals on Thursday, then the semifinals yesterday, and wow, excitement from really start to finish all the way through the semifinal day. You thought it was going to be dull, and then suddenly it wasn't. 2 5-set matches twice when teams went up 2-0, and then the team that was trailing by 2 sets came all the way back, forced a 5th set, and one time actually took it in 5, and that was a big day.
Yeah, that was Harding in the first match. As Harding was buying their comeback, I feel obligated to do the research and see when this had happened before. And going into yesterday, we'd had 31 instances out of 56 where a team had won the first 2 sets. All 31 had won before, and only 4 had even been pushed to 5 sets. So the fact that we had 2 go to 5 sets yesterday and the first ever comeback, like I said, really a historic day. At our tournament, we're fortunate in that by league rules we can't play 6 sets today.
That was fortunate, because I'm pretty sure it could have gone to that. And if there was a way to get it done, we would have done it yesterday. Harding defeats Northwestern yesterday, the 6 seed over the 2 seed in 5 sets. We mentioned that. The Crimson Storm of Southern Nazarene taking on top-seeded Oklahoma Baptist. Same situation. Oklahoma Baptist came out on a tear, took out the first 2 sets. Southern Nazarene really looked like, hey, listen, what's going on here? They righted the ship. Coach Kevin Ingram took, said what needed to be said, and the girls came back and took set 3, took set 4, and were really coming along in set 5 as well. Oklahoma Baptist, as the top seed, went ahead, finished, got that 5th set, and moved on into the championship match.
Yeah, they were fortunate they started off so fast in that 5th instance. I think it was 8-1 at the crossover. So, but even then, it got to 14-13. Right. So the credit to the Crimson Storm, they fought back throughout the whole
distance.
They went the whole match, and Malia Leatherland, our player of the year, had the game deciding kill, and you could just see I don't know if it was joy or just exhaustion, just being let out with that final kill being put down, and then they have the quicker turnaround, having finished around 8:30 last night to come back here and play at 2:00. So a little less rest for the Bison, but they're all between 18 and 23. They should have no problem getting up for this match.
That is true.
I'm for it. I'm almost 40.
I was going to say, you're a little older than that. Just a bit.
Not as old as you, though, Grandpa.
That is true. That is true. 2 grandkids now, and we have talked about this. 2 grandkids now. My second grandchild was born 3 weeks ago. We have a granddaughter and now a grandson. So, yes. You said grandpa in times before. Now it's real.
I know.
Okay, and that's okay. And I'm very happy
I don't always
so.
speak the truth to you, Joey, but
love you, Jaylee. Love you, Jasper. Granddad Says Hi on Midwest Sports Saturday. Okay, sitting here with Eric Moyer. By the way, Midwest Sports Saturday today is brought to you by the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, and we appreciate the folks of the Choctaw Nation for sponsoring Midwest Sports Saturday so many times over the course of this 2019 fall season, and so many things that the Choctaw Nation offers and the things that the nation is doing for its people and beyond, and we appreciate that. So today's Midwest Sports Saturday brought to you by the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. I'm Joey McWilliams sitting here with Eric Moyer right now, and that does bring us to the championship setup now. Harding, the 6th seed in this tournament, defending champs, made it to the NCAA tournament last year. Again, won on the road as the 8th seed at Nebraska Kearney, in Kearney, against Kearney. And that was just an amazing victory last year. Harding trying to just duplicate his tournament champions, but it's a totally different roster because there were so many seniors on that team last year, led by Zoe Harden and just a phone book worth of seniors on that team. They've all gone on, and it is populated now by so many freshmen. There's some sophomores and juniors that really have come to fore and played very well for Coach Meredith Fear, but so many freshmen on this team coming into the championship.
Yeah, virtually the only ones that can speak to what it's like to be in this final are is Coach Fear and the athletic training staff. Everyone else is experienced this for a first time, so they'll have to rely on coaches. History and being. I think she's made 6 finals in 9 years now, so she knows what this day feels like. She's been on the winning side, she's been on the losing side. She's 1-3, she's lost in 5, so she's basically experienced the whole gamut of this thing. She's coming as an underdog. She's been the favorite, so she has really experienced every possible game prep for how to handle this match. So interested to see how she prepares her team for the Bison singular.
Singular. That is correct. We have the Bisons versus the Bison in this matchup. And speaking about the Bison, Oklahoma Baptist, the top seed in this tournament, 3rd time in the tournament as Oklahoma Baptist made the transition from NAI to Division II, became the 12th member of the Great American Conference 3 years ago. And really, this is a program that it may be new to folks watching this on the Division II level, not new to volleyball at all. Coach Anna Howell has had this program going well for a long time. Just 5-6 years ago, had a streak of 53 consecutive regular season victories in conference play in the Sooner Athletic Conference, a very tough conference in the NAI. And so this is a program that's no stranger to winning. This is the first time to be in the championship match here in the GAC.
Yeah, their trophy case is not bare when it comes to volleyball, but just again,
it's not bare when it comes to anything. My goodness!
But again, at this level, for a chance to get to their first ever NCAA tournament in volleyball, again, just a different preparation than what they've gone through in the past. They competed at the NCCAA as they transitioned there and made postseason runs there. So Coach Howell does have that recent, that you can draw from a recent experience. But again, this current team, so led by Leatherland, a junior, they have not made those runs.
You were talking about what they bring to the table. Again, Malia Leatherland last night, 16 kills. She had the match-deciding kill in 5 sets. When you just have to think all these players were exhausted at the end. And is it joy? Is it relief when you win a match like that and
yes.
move on? Yes.
You just say yes.
So that is GAC Volleyball. Don't forget that the championship match will take place today at 2 o'clock, GAC Sports Network. Be sure and check that out. You can watch it on YouTube as well. Follow GAC
once you subscribe
Athletics.
here, then go to @GAC Athletics on there. Subscribe to us, too, and then you can watch Joey and Emma Sporleader on the call.
That's right. So GAC Athletics on YouTube, GAC Athletics. Subscribe and then watch that. That's fine. We'll be on live there. So more volleyball, by the way, from the MIAA tournament. Semifinal action taking place yesterday. The number 2 team in the country and still undefeated Nebraska Kearney took down Northwest Missouri. That was in one semifinal. The other semifinal, can you say it's an upset? A little bit of an upset there. Central Missouri over Washburn, the 3 seed over the 2 seed there. And Central Missouri came into the regional rankings, I believe, number 8 in the final regional rankings. And so this is a huge win for the Jennies because
we own the 8 spot.
I was going to say the Great American Conference automatic bid will be
you can't say 8 without great.
That is true. That is true. You heard it right here. You can't say 8 without great. Not sure what that means, but just file it away. File it away.
Just saying we
do know that the GAC will get an automatic bid and will be the 8th seed in the Central region. So that we know that's coming. Yeah. Well, if that's the case, then Central Missouri in that regional ranking from the number 8 spot would be bumped out. Mm-hmm. So this win yesterday is huge and moves on then in the championship match and has an opportunity against Nebraska Kearney. And that, I don't know. Do the Jennies need one more win?
I don't know. We've seen it in other sports where teams are 8, they win enough but don't get in, and they still find a way to get bumped up based on how other tournaments play out. So maybe I would still say they'd be out playing for the win to ensure themselves a spot, and then thus we're bumping out Team 7, which I don't know. I just look at the top and see where our teams are headed. So I don't really pay attention to the bubble in this sport.
I don't have that up right now. I have some football because I know we're going to talk about football a little bit later on. But in all things being considered, UCM fans, you want the Jennies to go ahead and get the automatic bid, take care of business from that standpoint, so that leaves nothing to chance. Then and we'll move on. Kearney will be there.
Yes, and like I said, they hosted last year, and Harding knocked them out, and Kearney's not had much success in the NCAA tournament. I think they've lost 6 straight NCAA tournament games multiple times as the host. So, if whoever gets that 8th spot, they can maybe draw on Harding's success and take a set early, and then maybe some doubt creeps in and maybe pull off another upset.
And that could be the case.
And
so
the unofficial stance, I
yes.
believe, since we both have mothers-in-law who are Jennies.
That is true. Both of our mothers-in-law have graduated from Central Missouri.
Yeah, so unofficially for volleyball only.
For volleyball only.
Go Jennies.
Okay. That is the case. So, and as far as my mother-in-law is concerned, it's still CMSU. I talk about UCM sometimes, and she'll look at me like, "What? What are you talking about?" CMSU. So that's volleyball.
Mine routinely refers to it the same way.
All right. More volleyball action. By the way, MIAA Championship today as well. GAC Championship. Please do watch that on YouTube at GAC Athletics. Let's move over really quickly then to basketball for just a moment. And I know we have some big announcements, so let me bring one of these things up here really quickly. One of the things that stands out to me from basketball right now, from Nebraska Wesleyan, as the Nebraska Wesleyan Prairie Wolves, the women's basketball team, Caitlin Navratil was a preseason All-American in Division III. She's done her part for the team. They are 2-2 now on the season following a loss last night that will play today. But a big win over Westminster earlier this week, and Navratil had the first triple-double in program history. She put up 26 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists, and Nebraska Wesleyan needed every last bit of that. 83-81 win. We had a chance to catch up with Navratil from Nebraska Wesleyan and what she had to say about that triple-double.
So on Tuesday, I just came into the game. I just wanted to play as hard as I could. And my outside shot wasn't really falling, so I decided to continue to attack the basket, and that was working really well for me. Related to the rebounding, I was just crashing the boards. The other team didn't really seem to box me out, and so I was a little mouse getting the cheese. I got the rebounds. And with the assists, my teammates were knocking down their shots. When they were open, I was giving them the ball. They were putting them in the basket, which was awesome. So far it's been a great start to the season. The 2 games before that, we battled the whole way. We didn't win the first one, but I don't count that as a loss just because we played hard the whole time. And so far we're playing with great momentum. We're working hard on every play, and I'm really excited to see where we go this season.
Nebraska Wesleyan taking on Johnson and Wales today to try to move back above 500 and go to 3-2 on the season. Thanks to Caitlin for taking some time with us on Midwest Sports Saturday, and also credit to Alex Linden, Sports Information Director from NWU, for his help as well. We appreciate that. So the Prairie Wolves back in action again today. You always love a triple-double. Those are cool, but when it's something that's monumental like that is the first in program history, I mean, there's a special place for that.
Yes, they are very hard to get at the collegiate level with the 40 minutes. Again, you see them routinely now in the NBA, but the 40-minute game and only maybe playing 30-31 to get the triple-double is very rare indeed.
So we're in basketball right now, and we want to go back to the GAC for just a moment because special moment happened earlier this week at Southern Nazarene. Jonathan Dunn, one of the premier players in the league, no doubt this year, but in previous years, I mean, with him and Micah Spade, I mean, Southern Nazarene really has been on the map, and I know that there is a complete cast of characters to go along with them all, but they've really got some headlines, and Jonathan Dunn recently made his mark again in the GAC.
Yeah, with his first basket Thursday against Northwest, he became our conference's all-time leading scorer. He passed the mark set by Braxton Reeves, and there are many ways to break a scoring record. You get a free throw late in the game where it doesn't matter, or you could score the first points of a game on a two-hand dunk.
Let's look at that.
Dunn gets around him. Now doubled on the baseline. Skips it up top to Wilson. Backdoor cut from Mulkey, and Dunn slams it home.
Now, see, there's 2 points with authority.
That's right.
That's how you get it done. If you want to break an all-time scoring mark, get it done like that.
You said get it done.
Get it done. I did say that.
And the players.
Please use that phrase. Please feel free to use
that phrase.
And
it was a done.
See, that's why we keep Eric around. Is with his skills with words, he's such a wordsmith. You're impressive. Absolutely.
I know.
And he'll tell you that too. If you're ever confused, he'll let you know. That is the case. Jonathan Dunn, the all-time leading scorer in the Great American Conference, and thanks also with courtesy Tanner Stiles and the Sports Information Department at Southern Nazarene for the clip that we just saw. There's another big game coming up with Southern Nazarene as well. Of course, they came away with the win, by the way, against Northwestern in that game. First conference action for all teams in the GAC on Thursday. More basketball taking place today, but there's a big one on the way on December 14th.
Yeah, it was announced this week. The NCAA had they announced their showcase set of games, and for the first time, Southern Nazarene will be part of a showcase, and they're going to host Southeastern as our two region participants from last year will meet for the first of two times this year at the Sawyer Center. Southeastern also off to a fantastic start now, 3-0. They knocked off a ranked team at the Sawyer Center during a region crossover tournament 2 weekends ago with Adam Dworsky, I think, averaging 12 assists in that week, and Kevin Buckingham off to his normal fast start, scoring the ball for Kelly Green and the Savage Storm. So they're off to a good start. Like I said, the Savage Storm men 5-2 with their only two losses coming to number one Northwest in a double overtime game again in that region crossover. But also it is a double header at the NCAA Spy. So we're going to see the Crimson Storm women and the Savage Storm women, and both of them have also started undefeated early on in this season. The Savage Storm women, I think, they were already receiving votes in the WBCA poll at 3-0.
And that brings us to a big matchup today, by the way, against a team that's definitely been receiving votes. Southeastern and Southwestern taking on each other today. That's a doubleheader from Durant. So that should be a big matchup on the women's side and the men's side too. But this is coming up on December 14th from Bethany. It'll be Southeastern, Southern Nazarene, doubleheader, ESPN3, and I believe Midwest Sports Saturday will be there as well.
Is that official?
That is 99% official. It's in the works.
Let's get that last percent in. Let's go.
Okay. It's so be looking for that. We have some other news too coming up for one of our sites in December. I'm gonna hold off one more episode on that one, but some big news
North
coming
Pole?
up. Not the North Pole.
Oh,
a little farther south than where we are right now, though.
Oh.
Which is really, that's one of those things too. You know, we've been in Kansas. We were in Hayes last weekend, and we've been moving farther north with the show, and to go farther south than where we are right now. I mean, there aren't too many places in this region in which it is farther south. So anyway,
I wonder where we're going. Stay
news.
tuned.
That's right. News coming up. So
news
keep
you
it
can
right
use.
Here. Always. That is always the case. Midwest Sports Saturday presented today by the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. And, you know, we've talked about basketball, obviously volleyball going on behind me right now. NCAA action taking place a little bit later on, and that leads us to another athlete from the Great American Conference.
Where are you taking me here?
Well, she's running a little bit later today.
We're just talking about football. I thought we were going to football. But before the football begins at 1, at noon today in the cross-country national championships, East Central's Anna Mora, the lone GAC runner to earn a spot in that. She finished third at the regionals 2 weeks ago. She will be competing at the national championships for them. So we hope that she can turn in another step forward. She won our league meet back in October at Ouachita. Finished third in the region 2 weeks ago. So hopefully she can have another high showing this weekend. Like I said, starting in about half an hour, and hopefully she runs for about a half hour. And she can become an All-American. She certainly had a career worthy of that recognition.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to recognize ECU's Anna Mora for what she's done and what she will be doing today. So fight on, Anna.
You did it.
Got to throw that. I know. I did it this time. So anyway, that is what is happening on the broader scale of NCAA athletes and specifically in the GAC. We've gone through volleyball. We go to basketball. Let's go to football now. And I'm going to bring up a couple of different things because the playoffs are going on. We've been talking football, by the way, on Midwest Sports Saturday. And actually on the summit, I've had a couple of guests come on the summit with me, John Cookman from Champion Sports Network. I know he had a playoff show yesterday for the NAIA, as well as we've had John Cooper from NAIA F-ball. It was a great visit. He gave his thoughts on the NAIA bracket that's come out, and I know this is a little bit beyond the GAC right now. So stay with me on this.
I was just saying, I heard John Cooper, and I had flashbacks to Ohio State losing to Michigan every November.
Stay with me on the NAIA for just a
I'm
moment,
hanging with
Eric,
you, Joey,
and then we'll get back to D2 because this is what we've been pushing for on Midwest Sports Saturday for quite a while, And please do check out some of the other crossovers on these YouTube channels. Please do look at NAI F-Ball. Of course, John and Corey have a lot going on there from Tallahassee. John Cookman, James Lex from Waxahachie with the Champion Sports Network. And we've been able to get some good visit with folks out in Phoenix with Vince and James on the JV Sports Show out there as well. So I definitely want to promote their channels because they're good folks and they have a lot of good things to say, specifically NAI. So we look at this. We've already talked about the schedule, but let's bring it out one more time. 8 games on the docket today. Dickinson State taking on number 1 Morningside, and these are all at the host site of the higher-seeded team. Reinhardt at Marion today. Baker at Kansas Wesleyan. Kansas Wesleyan still my sleeper team to take it all the way through, and it depends on how the seeding all breaks down after these first-round matches. I do pick Morningside overall, but I've got Kansas Wesleyan as my sleeper, so go Coyotes there. Concordia, Michigan at Grandview today. Vikings with a stellar season. Ottawa, Arizona at College of Idaho. This could be, I believe this has the potential to be the best game of the day. These are two fantastic teams, and we've talked about OUAZ so many times. Austin McCullough and what he has out there. College of Idaho, outside of what we normally talk about, they have a very, very strong football team. St. Francis of Indiana makes it in, taking on Lindsey Wilson, still undefeated after the big win over Cumberland's from Kentucky, 9-1, taking on Kaiser today. Kaiser still undefeated. And then it's St. Xavier at Northwestern Iowa. The Red Raiders' lone loss of the season last weekend at home against Morningside. So I'm sure that Tyson Kuima and the gang out there would like to write that, get that over with, and then make a run in the postseason. 16 teams right now. 8 teams will remain at the end of this day, and a lot that we'll talk about this coming week on the MidwestSports.net channel.
With no knowledge, I like Baker and St. Xavier.
Okay.
Baker sent me a recruiting letter when I ran cross country in high school, and I went to a St. Xavier high school in Ohio.
And there
Boom.
you go. Eric Moyer with his picks today. So
I figured you needed a break from talking, so there's 20 seconds of me yammering about 2 schools.
There's his picks on the NAI. We will have coverage of this over the course of this week. Eric Moyer will likely not be on the panel, but we will get to talk with some other folks on the summit.
When it's Baker St. X in the final, come back to me.
I will. If that is the case, we will have a special Skype in from Eric Moyer about that. So that is our NAI lineup today. Big games today. And it's really, we have been talking about Morningside all season long and ran the table last year, 15-0, 10-0 now, 25 consecutive wins for the Mustangs. The easy pick to repeat, and that is my pick. But lots of good action going on today. And the other thing about this too, of the 16 teams that are still playing right now, Eric, and I'll get your thoughts on this because I'm sure that you do have something you can say about this.
They are very well founded, I promise you.
7 of the teams that are hosting are undefeated. There are still 7 undefeated teams in the NAI right now, and the other host is Northwestern Iowa, and its lone loss is to Morningside. So
that is something that can definitely be related to the Division II level, where we had teams that stayed. I think it was 9 undefeated teams at Division II level. So you saw very little change at the top of our polls. So it is something that I can relate to.
Right. All right. Again, lots of good football teams still playing today, and that's going on.
And good analysis.
As well.
Cogent.
Wow, that actually, I don't think we've used that word on Midwest Sports Saturday before. So there's a first in episode number 25.
And used appropriately.
And used appropriately, no less. So I'm proud of Eric for that. Let's go to D2, and let's stick with Super Region 3 and talk some football, and that Eric can relate to even a little bit more because 2 of the teams that are playing in the Super Region 3 playoffs are from the Great American Conference.
Yep, Harding got in for the 3rd straight year. He said confidently, 4th straight year. He knows what he's talking about. They're going to Northwest Missouri. No small task there. Northwest only 29-3 all-time at home in the playoffs. They've even beaten Harding twice, so they go there. But Ouachita did get a spot to host. They are hosting Lindenwood, who snuck into the playoffs with an 8-3 record. Congrats to Lindenwood. The team on the bubble was Henderson State, so you can see there was a bit of a
I was going to let Eric just go ahead and keep going with that one until he
No.
about
I figured there are some Lindenwood subscribers on this channel.
Yes.
They do follow in your footprint, but they're not in my footprint.
Okay, that's all right.
But yeah, so Ouachita hosting and Harding on the road, both kicking off at 1 o'clock here. I believe if the bracket holds, they would be in line to play each other with an upset and a home victory, and they would be playing next week at the Cliff in the unofficial Pass the Collection Plate game, as Rex Nelson has dubbed the contest.
Well, if Rex Nelson had not been doing his high school show last night here in Arkansas, I think that he likely would have just stayed the night in the press box up there at the Cliff in Arkadelphia. Look at the bracket here really quickly. Ferris State, the top seed in the Super Region 3 bracket. And then we're looking at Ouachita, the number 2 seed, undefeated on the year, third consecutive Great American Conference championship for the Tigers, and ran the table again throughout the regular season. So the second seed taking on Lindenwood, as you mentioned that. Third seeded Northwest Missouri State taking on Harding. No, excuse me.
Northwest
that's right.
Harding.
Third seeded
Right.
Northwest Missouri State taking on.
The confusing thing is they've dropped those 5, 6, 7 seeds, so it's the third
Right.
seed facing.
Yeah, facing Harding. And then Central Missouri with the loss at the end of the season against Northwest Missouri. That's actually what propelled Northwest Missouri into the hosting for sure of this game. So the Mules taking on Indianapolis in that other matchup up there. The Central Missouri Indy game, the winner of that will go on to take on Ferris State. Again, Ouachita, Lindenwood, the winner taking on the winner of Northwest Missouri and Harding.
And again, it's outside of our scope, but Ferris State, they were the national runner-ups last year. J. Rue Campbell was the Harlan Hill Award winner. He's only played 5 games this year. He's been battling injuries throughout this whole year. They have the bye this week, so that if everybody say that they're targeting having to be healthy again. If he is healthy, I think that swings the whole region outlook to the Bulldogs. If he's questionable, then anyone that wins this week can feel good about their chances of getting through. But when he's in there, he is definitely a difference maker for the Bulldogs.
All right. Let's go back just one more time and go to the Lindenwood statement really quickly, because I think it does warrant at least a little bit of attention, because this past week, in visiting with John Cooper on the Summit on the Midwest Sportsnet channel, which you should subscribe to, I was giving my opinion about there were a couple of teams left out of the NAIA playoffs, out of the 16-team field. Southeastern Florida was just the one loss on the season. I understand that, but the team that is within the MidwestSports.net region that was on the outside looking in, Langston, the Lions 8-2. 8-1 if you don't count the game against Pine Bluff, and Arkansas Pine Bluff is a Division I school, and yeah, it was a tough loss, but that's one of those things I get frustrated. Langston, sometimes it feels like they're on the outside looking in a lot, and so that's one of those teams that's close to my heart. So let's talk about a team that didn't quite make it in Henderson State, on the outside looking in. Lindenwood, the similar records, but I think there is something to be said for the Reddy season as well.
Yeah, 9-2. The only 2 losses were to Harding and to Ouachita, both on the road, and by a combined 4 points. They led Ouachita going to that final drive. So, are you saying that one stop makes the whole difference? Then when you go through the criteria of records versus win of teams above 500, road wins, and obviously playing the teams on the road, you get dinged with 2 losses, but they're 2 of the 12 best teams in the country, so I don't know how much you can delve into what it means. Then you look at again, the wins above 500 is one that everybody pointed to, because for us with UAM losing last week to SC, they fell under that 500 mark, so they didn't count anymore.
And so the Lions had the better,
right? I think they were 5-1, and maybe Henderson was 4-2. So it's just an unfortunate part of the criteria that a third outcome that you can't control can swing how everything goes. And I'd also believe that with Lindenwood, I forget who it might be. Maybe it was Truman State. Ended up they being ranked 10th, so that counted as a regionally ranked win. So that also helped Lindenwood, whereas a team like SAU was no longer being considered in the top 10, so that wouldn't count, and that ends up being Henderson's best win. And
you didn't mention though, Lindenwood also conference champs in the Great Lakes Valley Conference.
Yeah.
did get the conference championship. So, there's a lot to be said on both sides of it.
There is. I guess the one thing that we were always looking to was you go and look at some of the advanced analytics sites, Massey, SP+, and the gap is significant in Henderson's favor. Then the standard criteria that the NCAA uses, I think it was more of those things favored Lindenwood. I will believe to my core, put the two on the field to play a game as a play-in game, that I do believe that Henderson, while may not win, they would be expected to win.
Okay.
You never can say with a bounce of a ball or an in-game injury, but I believe to my core that Henderson State would have lined up as the favorite.
Now, see, if you stick around long enough here on Midwest Sports Saturday, Eric will get into the great analysis that he just provided for you there. So, provided high points for both sides there.
You hung on
How
for
far
43
are we
minutes.
into the program?
Big old hang with them right there, my friend.
And to this point, this year, I'm not sure that he's offended anyone just yet. But again, stick around.
I got close with Lindenwood.
Okay, well, that's all right. That's all right. By the way, you talk about Truman, too. Please visit the channel. Had a great visit on the summit with Coach Greg Nesbitt from Truman. And the Bulldogs, though they didn't make the playoffs, did move into a bowl scenario, and Truman will be taking on Ohio Dominican in the inaugural America's Crossroad Bowl. Had a great visit with Coach Greg Nesbitt. That is on the channel as well, so please check that out.
And it is good to see, while we're not at the Division level, it is good to see more and more bowls popping up at the Division II level. With over 160 teams to only have the 28 make the postseason, there are plenty of teams that have great seasons that deserve a 12th game. And we've got two teams in Henderson and SAU that get to play a 12th game. Oklahoma Baptist, if the playoffs had fallen the right way, they would have been playing in there. You can't tell me that teams that have that level of success shouldn't be afforded an opportunity to get these 12th games. I think they're great in these communities. Texarkana does a great job with theirs. The folks in Corsicana are doing a great job to get their game to become higher profile. So I am an advocate of maybe trimming the fat at the Division I level, but seeing Division II get more games. Certainly in this part of the country where it is easy travel for so many teams
right.
in this footprint to put on a good game, and the benefit of the practices. Like for Henderson to be playing back in a postseason, it's not the postseason, but to get a postseason appearance the first time since 2015, that team benefits. SAU with going through with new stars at quarterback and the skill positions to get the extra 12 the extra practices, that'll benefit them down the road. So I do believe that there is still a market for a select few more bowl games for teams in this area that do have worthy seasons of advancing.
All right. We're going to talk a little bit more in our next Midwest Sports Saturday about NAIA volleyball, the Division II volleyball, and a few more of the bowl games, because we have some more teams within the Midwest region that have made bowl games. But I wanted to promote the Great American Conference Bowl Game today, since we have Eric Moyer here with us right now. And
if not me, who?
Lest I be remiss on this, let's go ahead and drop our Eric Moyer lower third there, because that's important.
It really is.
Want to make sure we got that in. All right. Here on Midwest Sports Saturday, presented by the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, as we start to wrap this up and our time here, because we have volleyball.
I hear racks being rumbled about. Yeah. People are starting to
all those volleyballs. And I like to have activity going on behind me, but generally. Well, we have the volleyball net behind us right now. Generally, it is. There will be activity going on behind me, but I mean, this is one of those things, though, that I can sit this close to the basketball court and generally be all right. People are running two-line layups. I can actually be this close, and have been, to the football field and generally be all right. Volleyball this close, there's no way.
No, the amount of TV stuff. If everybody does tune into the GAC final, we have a handful of monitors all along press row. They are in constant danger.
Yes.
During warm-ups, during in play.
Don't bring your beverage and set it there on press row, because it will likely be taken out.
At your own peril.
And your computer's own peril and all that. So we did talk about Southern Arkansas. By the way, where's Southern Arkansas playing?
They are in Corsicana.
And taking on?
They're taking on Eastern New Mexico.
Very good.
Are you testing me? Like, do you think I'd forget? I am sleep deprived. I know our 4 teams play.
Henderson State. Where are they going?
They are going to Texarkana, down to the Live United Bowl. Agent Barry Live United Bowl, and they will face on a familiar participant in that game, Missouri Western, making their second straight appearance in that event. And the Reddies and Griffins will do battle on December 7th. You going to
That's
be
right.
there?
I am going to be there.
Awesome.
As a matter of fact, Midwest Sports Saturday is also going to be there on December 7th, 2 weeks from today, and we'll be broadcasting from the Arkansas High Razorback TV studio. Again, Michael Westbrook and
the ghost of
guys.
Michael Westbrook will appear.
That is right. Michael Westbrook will make an appearance in that one as well, and he will be
Hope
calling,
the check clears.
of course, the Live United Bowl, the Agent Barry Live United Bowl from Arkansas High in Texarkana. And, it was Missouri Western with a big win last year coming back. And
they jumped out ahead.
The scene.
They jumped out ahead if you said come. Oh, that version of comeback. I thought you meant comeback within the game.
No, they're coming back to Texarkana.
But there's ways of different versions
That's
of the
true.
word comeback.
They jumped out ahead.
They got ahead
they
big time on SAU, and then
took control.
And then SAU, I think they got within 3. Right, they had like multiple 2-point conversions. Like you thought they needed a stop. They had a chance, but the GAC has not fared great at this bowl game. We've lost a few in a row. So
Missouri Western trying to win for the second consecutive year in
Texarkana. The Reddies and Griffins have played one time before. They played in the 2012 NCAA playoffs, and they beat the Reddies at that in that day when the Reddies had a young Kevin Rogers at the helm in that game. So the Reddies can maybe get revenge for 7 years gone by.
7 years gone by.
When Elliott
rallying around Kevin Rogers.
Why not? Why not? Keaton Steger.
Henderson State.
Yes.
Fighting Kevin Rogers.
Unofficially.
All right. Okay,
Secondary
we're going to wrap things up here from Hot Springs, from the Bank OZK Arena. Again, Midwest Sports Saturday, presented by the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. It's been a privilege and a pleasure to get to visit with you today, Eric, and thank you very much for coming on the show. And
my
being
best
here.
ability is availability.
There you go. It's always fun to have Eric on the show, and you just never know what's going to happen. Really, I go in abject terror because I just never know.
What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to just run around the scene with a mic, just screaming things, or
I don't know. Well, it's a very empty arena right now, so
it would be odd. I have a modicum of decorum.
Okay, modicum, by the way. Also, you heard it right here on Midwest Sports
Degree
Saturday.
in words, right here, University of Missouri.
Did you go to J school then?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. All those words just bouncing in this little old noggin.
All right. Pretty good J school. I will
I've
go
been
ahead.
Told.
And I know. I'm not going to go much farther than that. I will put Oklahoma State's J school right up there with it, though.
They slide in very nice in the 3-hole.
I will still put
maybe
Oklahoma
4th.
State's. Go Pokes. All right, we need to wrap things up here. We need to wrap things up here.
Syracuse.
We need to wrap things up here.
You're not even the best Orange J school.
From Hot Springs, Arkansas, and the Bank OZK Arena. Don't forget, 2 o'clock this afternoon, GAC Athletics, YouTube. Check it out. Subscribe. Also, subscribe, please, to Midwest Sports Net's YouTube channel. For Eric Moyer, I'm Joey McWilliams. God bless you. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.